Welcome. Today, we dive into Alexei Tsvetkov's provocative poem, Death of a Philosopher. Written on the day of Jean Baudrillard's passing, this poem sparked heated debates in literary circles and online communities. Tsvetkov uses sharp irony and parody to question the legacy of postmodern philosophers, blending humor with biting critique. In this video, we'll explore the poem's structure, its references to Russian folklore and classic poetry, and the deeper meanings behind its satirical tone. Let's begin by setting the stage and understanding why this poem made such an impact. Tsvetkov published Death of a Philosopher on March 7, 2007, the day Jean Baudrillard died. The poem immediately drew attention for its irreverent tone and its timing. Rather than a respectful tribute, Tsvetkov's work is a satirical panegyric, a mock eulogy for the giants of postmodern thought. He mentions not only Baudrillard but also Deleuze, Derrida, Zizek, Lacan, Foucault, and Lyotard, turning them into symbols of an era. This context is crucial. The poem is both a reaction to a cultural moment and a critique of the intellectual climate shaped by these figures. From the very first lines, Tsvetkov's poem is laced with irony. He describes nature itself mourning the loss of philosophers, with snowdrops wilting and birch trees drying up. But this exaggerated grief quickly reveals itself as parody. The poem's tone mocks the seriousness with which postmodernism is often treated, using absurdity to highlight what Tsvetkov sees as the emptiness of its values. The poem's humor is sharp, and the irony is unmistakable. Tsvetkov is not mourning, but rather exposing what he considers the flaws of postmodern philosophy. One of the poem's most striking features is its use of motifs from Russian folklore and classic poetry. Tsvetkov references traditional images like birch trees and mourning rituals, drawing on the language of folk laments. These references are not accidental. They set a cultural backdrop that contrasts sharply with the modern philosophers he critiques. The poem's structure and rhythm also echo works by Zhukovsky and Marshak, creating a bridge between the past and present. This interplay of tradition and modernity deepens the poem's satirical edge. Tsvetkov lists the names of postmodern philosophers almost mechanically, as if each is just another entry in a funeral register. This serial approach strips away their individuality, turning them into cultural symbols rather than real people. The poem's rhythm and repetition reinforce this effect, making the death seem routine and even trivial. By doing so, Tsvetkov questions the lasting significance of their ideas and the sincerity of their followers' mourning. It's a powerful technique that both satirizes and critiques the intellectual elite. A standout line in the poem, "The Matrix is in mourning, the scriptwriter is dead," invokes pop culture and philosophical theory. The Matrix film, beloved by many postmodern thinkers, becomes a metaphor for the virtual realities they described. Tsvetkov cleverly links Baudrillard's ideas to the film, while also referencing Roland Barthes' concept of the death of the author. This blending of media, philosophy, and satire highlights the blurred boundaries between high culture and mass entertainment, a key theme in postmodernism itself. The poem's form is as important as its content. Tsvetkov uses a 4-foot dactylic meter with paired rhymes, a structure that carries its own cultural associations. This meter echoes classic Russian works, especially those by Marshak and Zhukovsky. Literary scholar M.L. Gasparov argued that poetic meter can have a semantic aureole, a set of meanings and emotions attached to it by tradition. By choosing this form, Tsvetkov connects his satire to a lineage of Russian poetry, reinforcing his critique through both style and substance. In the final stanza, Tsvetkov brings in iconic French symbols, Marion, Bordeaux wine, and Brie cheese. These stand in for the now-departed philosophers, suggesting that France's cultural exports are reduced to mere commodities. The poem's tone here is both mocking and mournful, as if to say that postmodern philosophy has become just another brand. This clever use of national symbols underscores Tsvetkov's skepticism about the true value of postmodern thought in the broader landscape of culture. As we conclude, it's clear that Death of a Philosopher is more than a poem. It's a sharp commentary on the state of modern intellectual life. Tsvetkov's use of parody, folklore, and classic poetic forms allows him to challenge the authority of postmodern thinkers while engaging with deep cultural traditions. Whether you agree with his critique or not, the poem invites us to reflect on the meaning of philosophy, the role of satire, and the ways in which culture evolves. Thanks for joining us on this literary journey.